Welcome to Walk the Line. Well, I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. We're giving you my Dynasty Madden League golden picks of week 3. Okay, man. I did better this week. I finished off 12-4 with my picks, so I'm feeling good heading into this week, man. I think I'm going to pick a perfect card this week. Let's dive right into it. The first game up, it's Ness and the New York Jets versus my Cleveland Browns. Okay, Cleveland last week, man. My young guns came out. We started off slow, against Addy and those Saints, and we kind of got the ship rolling late in the game. We made a couple mistakes, but overall, I think my guys played good. We young, man. We still learning. This week, we got a juggernaut matchup against Ness and those Jets. They coming off of a good victory over division mate, tight working the Miami Dolphins. This right here will also be a game, man, where I have to be patient. I have to be patient and not let Ness defense make plays. I have to win the time of possession. I can't let Ness come out and control the clock. And I have to take his running game out of this game for me to come out with a W. It's going to be a good matchup. But, of course, like I said before, I'm never going to pick against myself. I'm going to take my Cleveland Browns over Ness and the New York Jets. Getting a week 3 matchup, getting back on, getting another W in that win column. Okay, next up we have the get the strap game. I'm telling you, somebody's going to have to go get the strap in this game because this game right here is going to be electrifying. And I'm telling you right now, if you miss out on this game, you're gonna feel real bad. Because this is a game right here that I had marked on my calendar as a must-watch. Soon when the Madden 19 schedule came out, I knew for a fact that this was going to be a crazy matchup. You got 85 and the New Orleans Saints versus Nasty Noop and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, these two teams coming off of great victories in their Week 2 matchups. Addy defeated my Cleveland Browns. I knew from the gate what type of user he was. He's one of those users, like I stated, week after week. It's gonna make it count when you're in the red zone. All that marching the ball down the field does not mean shit if you do not make it count in the red zone, meaning coming off of the drive with points. He's a guy that sticks to his game plan. He doesn't get rattled. He's gonna come out and he's gonna pick you apart with the run game, with the pass play, and on defense, he's going to make you make mistakes. Now, Nasty Noop and Atlanta Falcons looked very good last week. I think he has to come out with the same mindset in this week matchup against 85 and the Saints. Stick to what worked in week 2. Use those dual threat running backs in Coleman and Freeman. You ran the rock well, and that would take a lot of pressure off of Matty Ice, and it also will open up a lot of things downfield for Monster Julio Jones and rookie wide receiver Redley. I think this game right here is going to come down to who can take care of the ball. Just flat out who can take care of the ball. And in this game, this will be my first upset pick of week 3. I'm going to have to take Hot Atlanta getting the W over 85 and the New Orleans Saints. Next up, we have Mo Booker and the Green Bay Packers versus underrated, under 2-rated in the Washington Redskins. Now, this game right here is going to be a good matchup. Like a lot of guys probably think that, this won't be televised, but I think this will be an interesting game right here. We have 2 users with 2 good teams. They just, started off in the rough patch, but I think these are going to be 2 teams in the future that we're going to have marked down as a threatening team that can make a run for a banner. Yes, I said it. The Packers and the Redskins could be one of those teams in the future that can making a run for a banner in the dynasty. Now, I know a lot of people probably sitting there scratching their head, but hey, it's my opinion. And I think that these teams, how they're set up, if they can get a few more good key pieces, these teams can be very threatening. Now, Mo Booker has some young guns over there that I think out there, Green Bay has not found their identity yet. This game is going to be one of those games where them young guns is going to be tested again because the Washington Redskins, is starting to get some things clicking on the offensive side of the ball. But on the defensive side of the ball, these guys cannot stop shit. They're coming off of 2 weeks straight giving up 300 plus yards. The defense, I don't know if they sleep. I don't know if they're hungover. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Washington, but for some reason they can't stop shit on defense. Like, they can't stop nothing. If he comes out and he's planning on giving up 300 plus yards, Moby will be getting an easy W on week 3. However, this is the season, and I don't think that Mo Booker's stick skills is matched up with under 2 rated. So on that note, I'm going to have to pick the Washington Redskins with the W over the Green Bay Packers. Next up, we have Marizi and the Indianapolis Colts versus Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Marizi took a tough loss last week, but despite taking a tough loss, his team actually came out and played good. He had a well-oiled run game. He had passed the ball well, but he just couldn't seem to get the job done. But this week, that shit ain't gonna matter. That's last week. This is a new week. He's going up against Philly, though. Blazing hot Philadelphia Eagles, man. I don't know what's going on, but Matty Ice fooled everyone. He all going to struggle with the game. I don't know this. I don't know that. Man, he put the Philly special on T-Pain and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, putting up a total of 500 total offensive yards. Tore T-Pain a new asshole, man. Like, the Bucs couldn't handle not near a lick of the Philadelphia Eagles. And this week, man, I see Matty Ice doing the same exact thing, man. I think he figured the game out, and he figured it out very early. So I'm going to have to take the Philadelphia Eagles with a dominating win over Marizi and the Indianapolis Colts. Next up, we have Skilled Trade and the Buffalo Bills versus Hamilton and the Minnesota Vikings. Buffalo has done it again, man. The Buffalo curse has got another DML users trapped in its grips, man. Pack it up, Skilled Trade, man, and just make early plans for Madden 20. You know, it's just the Buffalo curse, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't see Buffalo even contending with Minnesota's defense right now, man. That's all you can mention right now with the Minnesota is defense. These guys are playing flat out amazing defense, giving up only a total of 115 total yards in a week 2 matchup. They forced 1 fumble, got 2 interceptions, 4 sacks, and held their opponent to 2 field goals for the entire game. This is Minnesota Vikings defense. Is the defense that don't want to give up not near an inch. And I don't see the Buffalo Bills getting anything. I don't see them coming out doing anything. I just pretty much see them coming out and Hamilton looking at this as a scrimmage game, getting an easy W over the Buffalo Bills, heading to 3-0, heading to actually 4-0, heading to, man, week 4, man. Next up, we have Tone Dog and the Oakland Raiders versus Tight Work and the Miami Dolphins. Tone last week put a hurting on JB Blazing. Guys going to say it was Madden, which, we all have some of the Madden fuckery. But that win last week, he put up 50 points. I don't know how much we could blame that on Madden, but the dude dropped 50. That's half of 100. Now Madden probably was responsible for 20 of those points, but you still got 31 lingering around. So they came out with a dominating win, and I think this week he's going up against Miami team that turned the ball over last week against the New York Jets. So I know he's coming in this game highly motivated. If he could come in with the same exact mindset of wanting to wreak havoc on the defensive side of the ball and cause Tight Work to make turnovers and cause him to make mistakes, but also capitalize off of Tight Work mistakes, this game could go Oakland's way. However, Tight Work hasn't took a back-to-back loss since Madden 18, I believe, season 1. So I don't see Tyrod taking a back-to-back loss in this matchup. I see him getting things together, getting back focused, and getting back in that positive column, getting a W over the Oakland Raiders. Next up, we have JB Blazing in the Denver Broncos versus HB30 in the Baltimore Ravens. Now, before we get into this game, last week, if you didn't have a chance to tune into the Baltimore Ravens game versus the Cincinnati Bengals, man, HB30 sounded like Ghost off of Power when Tommy shot Angela, when John Ross went up and took the game-winning touchdown. The producers in the back, do somebody have that clip somewhere, man, so we could show the audience, how that game went about, please? Can somebody please bring that clip up to the front?
Oh, fuck!
That was just crazy, man. That was just crazy, And I predicted that. I said if the big homie could figure out somehow, some way to get that explosive offense going, he might have a chance to beat HB30. I took HB30 in that game, of course, but I stated that, man, because he has a well team out there in Cincy. JB's coming off of a game where he got 51 dropped on him. HB's coming off of a game where he got a game-winning touchdown dropped on him in the last couple seconds. This right here is going to be a revenge game. HB30 is going to come out very focused, not playing around with JB, and I think he's going to put a hurting on him. I think Action Jackson with a lot of play action is going to tear JB Blazing and those Denver Broncos defense the hell up. I just can't see HB30 taking 2 losses back to back, especially how he took that loss last week. So buckle up, JB Blazing. It's going to be a tough matchup. I got the Baltimore Ravens with a dominant win over JB Blazing and the Denver Broncos. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals and the big homie versus C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers came off of a dominating win. C-Rob is one of those users who like power backs. Christian McCaffrey, I don't really think fits his scheme, but I think he's starting to figure out how to use him and how to get top production out of him. However, the big homie seemed to got things figured out at Cincy. He has one of the most explosive wide receivers on Madden 19 and John Ross, paired up with AJ Green. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Come out with the same game plan, because Carolina's secondary does not match up well in this matchup against Cincinnati wide receiver core. So in this game, it's going to be an easy pick. I don't see the Carolina Panthers secondary slowing down Cincinnati wide receiver core at all. I'm going to take the big homie and the Cincinnati Bengals over the Carolina Panthers. Next up, we have Westside Pablo versus SJ and the Houston Texans. Now, Westside Pablo, started off last week, very slow against HBO. They started picking things up, but once he got his game going, it was nothing that HBO could do to slow him down. He beat the brakes off of him, meaning he beat the brakes off of him. HBO need to go to AutoZone. He need to go to Pep Boys. Go get those brakes fixed, because he beat the motherfuckers off of you. Now, he has to get Saquon Barkley going. This is one of the young up-and-coming running backs in the DML, and he has to figure out how to get him going. Rookie quarterback is playing good. They had a good game last week. But one thing that I don't like is this. My prediction for this week will be SJ. Rest up JJ Watt. Rest up Clowney, because this is going to be the week that they eat. Because last week, the New York Giants gave up a total of 5 sacks. If you think that you won't come out here, Westside Pablo, or go up against SJ, and think that last week your quarterback was getting tore up, boy, I tell you, you better ice up, because J.J. Watt and Clowney is going to go the fuck off this week on that busted up New York Giants line, and I'm going to have to take S.J. dominating his front four, dominating that New York Giants offensive line, getting a W out there in Houston, taking a W, heading into week 4 with it. Next up, we have Darkness and the Tennessee Titans versus Expert and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, last week, Expert defense stood tall for him against that those Pats. But his offense outside of Jenkins is not producing at all. He has to figure out how to get those guys going. Now, like I just mentioned in the game beforehand, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. But as he progressed through the season, guys are going to start game planning around Safari and Jenkins, and is going to start eliminating him and force other guys to have to step up. But how that defense is playing right now, man, I don't even see him struggling through this season at all. I see him breezing through this season. Might take 1 or 2 losses here and there, but I don't see him actually struggling because that defense is set up to at least get him to the playoffs. Now, we all know the playoffs is a different story, but as of right now, I see the defense carrying the load and getting them to the playoffs. Tennessee, man, there's a whole lot of darkness over Tennessee right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Tennessee. This team is so stacked on paper, man. Like, this is one of the teams that I actually had as a bounce back team. I actually had Darkness as a bounce back user. Heading into Madden 19, I thought this was going to be, a good cycle. I thought he was going to start off year 1, with his hit the ground running. But it seemed like all he did was he hit the ground running and landed in some mud, because the Tennessee Titans are looking like shit, man. This is another tough matchup for him this week. I don't think Expert is going to come out and take it easy. I think it's going to be a game that Expert is going to want to stamp his name on and pretty much stump all on his throat. And I got Expert with the Jacksonville Jaguars taking another W, man. 3-0. Next up, we have Sweetness 99, the 49ers versus Sweetness 99, the San Francisco 49ers versus KP and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, okay. The Chiefs, boy, I tell you, man, I'm telling you right now, the Chiefs is coming out in one word. I ain't gonna say one word, one player. Mr. Deuces himself is tearing shit up in the DML. Last week he went off for 200 plus yards. If you cannot figure out how to slow this man down, I mean, he's Usain Bolt fast. If you can't figure out how to slow him down at least a second or a minute, you have to figure out how to take Tyreek Hill out of the game. I don't watch games where these guys are disrespecting Mr. Deuces himself in one-on-one coverage with no one over the top. Are you smoking crack? Like, are you smoking crack? You must want the Deuces put up in your face. Like, you must want that. Like, come on, man. Get it together, DML. Like, 200. How you gonna let this man? Oh, my God. Sweets 99, I'm telling you right now. If you come out and you think that you're gonna play one-on-one, this is free chicken right here. If you want to play one-on-one coverage with Mr. T. Hill, aka Mr. Deuces in your face, and think you're going to come out with a W in Kansas City, boy, you better go join the others and hit that butter rock too, because it ain't happening. It ain't happening. You're going to have to figure out, if you want to get this W, how to take Tyreek Hill out of the game. I'm telling you, you have to figure it out. Yeah, that's going to be a tough task to take on. But that's a task that I think that the San Francisco 49ers cannot do. I know some of y'all thought that I probably won't say can do. No, he cannot do it. I think T.Y., Mr. A.K.A. Deuces himself, is going to keep doing what he's doing, pitting Deuces up in people's faces, celebrating in the end zone, dancing with the cheerleaders, man, getting a W. Matter of fact, getting a fast W, lightning bolt W heading into week 4, man. KP taking the W over the San Francisco 49ers. Moving on. Next up, we got Eddie Forrest and the Los Angeles Chargers versus King Vitamin and the Los Angeles Rams. This right here, baby, is the battle of LA. The battle of LA, man, just like that. Both guys coming off an impressive win last week. You know, this is two teams that's both stacked on offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. This right here is going to come down to who defense can step up and cause the offense to make turnovers. Simple as that. Plain cut dry. That's just what the fact says right there. Because these are two top tier users in the DML. Two teams that are stacked. This is the season. Whose stick skills outweighs who? Now, I think this is going to be it's going to be a blowout. And I think my pick for this game is going to have to be, I'm do this with my eyes closed. I'm going to have to pick King Vitamin and the Los Angeles Rams taking the W over Eddie Forrest and the Los Angeles Chargers. Moving on. Okay, we got HBO and the Dallas Cowboys versus Houdini and the Seattle Seahawks. All right, now let's talk a little bit about Dallas, man. Because last week, Dallas, I have one question for y'all. How the hell did a quarterback lead the team in rushing? You gotta tell your GM, HB, lay off the Cheetos, the Monster drinks, the Red Bulls, and the Funyun rings. Like, if you ever think you're gonna come out and win the game, and your quarterback is leading and rushing, and your quarterback is not Action Jackson or Cam Newton or Russell Wilson, you're not going to win the game, bruh. Just telling you that you're not going to win the game. But that loss last week showed the DML how much of a factor that Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott means to that team, because he was only able to put up 6 points after coming off of a dominating week 1 win over C-Rob and the Panthers. You know, so he's getting those guys back this week, I believe. It was court. I think something happened with them using steroids. Some substance was found in their urine. But they're out there in Dallas. They always seem to figure out how to sweep things under the rug. But this week he's going up against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks has been putting together some impressive W's this season. And it's only week 3, but they're coming. This is a team that a lot of guys probably thought was going to struggle, but they're actually coming out, man. They're competing. I stated this week 1. This is a team that's going to come out and is going to compete no matter who's on their roster, because what type of owner and user is controlling them. So if you got the Seattle Seahawks on your schedule, tell me right now, take heed, because if you think it's going to be an easy W, it's not. This week, I think the Seattle Seahawks continue to put up impressive W's and get the easy W over HBO and the Dallas Cowboys. Man, stop getting those dudes suspended, man. We need them on the field. Next up, we have the Bus and the Chicago Bears versus Guwap and the Arizona Cardinals. Now, man, Chi-Town, Chirac, that defense is scary. It's scary, man. It's a top 5 defense in passing yards allowed, top 5 defense in rushing yards allowed, and it's real scary. It's real scary. I'm telling you right now, that defense is very scary. Every time that defense comes up to hit a play, now I think the Bus got a bounty gate going on out there with some players, man, because I tuned into a couple of those games and it was some receivers that was even able to make a play on the ball and they was ringing their bell. That defense is very scary. But however, the offense, man, is not that impressive. And I think that the defense is carrying a majority of the load right now. And Guwap is a user that showed week 1 and week 2. I don't know what the fuck happened. He completely went left. But week 1, he showed that he can produce and put points up on the board. Now, this is a game right here where Guwap is going to have to come in with. He has to clear his memory from last week, because if he comes in with the jitters from last week loss against King Vitamin and those Los Angeles Rams, how he turned the ball over, he's going to repeat the same thing this week against the Chicago Bears. I'm telling you right now, but this is a defense, like I just mentioned. You heard what I said, Guwap. Listen to what I'm telling you. This is a top 5 defense in all categories. So you have to erase the memory of that week 2 loss and come out how you played week 1. Now, if you can do what I just mentioned, Guwap, I can see you coming out with a W against the Bucks. Now, this is the season. I don't think. I watched these guys play in the preseason. I watched them scrimmage. And Guwap played the Bucks tough. So I think Guwap is going to come out with a little chip on the shoulder in this game. And my upset number 2 pick will be Guwap and the Arizona Cardinals over the Bucks and the Chicago Bears. Now, moving on. We have Dash Mayer and the New England Patriots versus Taz and the Detroit Lions. Now last year there's some allegations that came about on the New England Patriots and them in a spy gate. They were allegedly caught spying again. Yes, I said it again on the Jacksonville Jaguars practice. But the firm immediately took action and deaded all the allegations. However, I think the off-field distractions will affect Dashmere and the New England Patriots in this Week 3 matchup against the Detroit Lions. Taz, however, I like what I seen from Taz and the Detroit Lions last week. They showed me that they was not afraid to take those shots down the field. Now, if he can figure out how to come out with that same exact mindset this week against a distracted New England Patriots team, I can see him coming out with a W this week. So my pick for this game will have to be the New England Patriots. My fault. Scratch that. The Detroit Lions over the New England Patriots taking the W in a Week 3 matchup. Next up, we have, ladies and gentlemen, the shit bowl of Week 3. We got Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus T-Pain and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These are two teams, man, that have so much talent. So much talent, man. And they just can't seem to get it right. They just can't seem to get it right, man. And it's like, they might as well just, man, just take y'all frustration out on each other. This game right here, I'm just going to flip a coin. I'm not going to spend too much time on the shit bowl because, it's the shit bowl. But I'm going to flip a coin on this one. Heads for Flair. Tails for T-Pain. Listen there. Tails it is. I'm going to have to go with T-Pain and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking the W over Flair and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are my picks for Week 3. Drop a comment. Make sure you tune in. I will be dropping a show every event. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray, and I'm out.